Well said.
Okay, questions?
I will say, I give a lot of credit. I think North Dakota State came out as the aggressor in the first half, had us on our heels. First 2 possessions, we turned the basketball over, and they go down and get easy baskets and kind of got them rolling, and got a couple of easy looks for Whittle and Johnson in transition, which I think kind of got them going and their confidence going. They became very difficult to defend, but I thought our team showed a lot of grit to fight back and overcome in that second half and overtime.
How did, Marge mentioned it a little bit about you reminding them of a week ago at Omaha, and I mean, how familiar did that feel? Because it was almost identical. I mean, you surged back and you did it quickly and ended up taking the lead, and then they come back and get a couple buckets and take the lead right back. So it just had to feel.
We've been talking about it, for a couple days about having to learn from that loss at Omaha, and we unfortunately for the girls, we spent some time watching film of possessions where after we took the lead in that game that we came down and had 2 defensive breakdowns that led to 2 wide open buckets for Omaha and put us back in a 3-point deficit. And so we talked about not letting that be the case here again. Scratch and claw and fight to get back in it. Now you have to stay in it and slam that door shut.
What do you think changed first half to second half?
I think in the first half that we were attacking the basket with the idea to try to get ourselves to the foul line, and we're not finishing baskets. And I think in the second half we really were aggressive of getting into the paint with the mindset of scoring the basketball and making baskets, and if we get fouled, then that's just a bonus on top. And I think that 50 points in the paint tonight is the telltale statistic.
How about Sunday? Playing the Jackrabbits, what are some things you're going to have to do there?
Mick, we can finally talk about Sunday. I've had multiple requests to want to talk about that game Sunday, and we've stayed diligent to try to remain focused on this game here Thursday. And because of that, I've kind of practiced what I've preached a little bit. I haven't watched even a single second's worth of new updated film on South Dakota State, so that'll be something I start here tonight and lock in. I think that there's a lot of areas we can improve on from when we played up there at their place, but I think we were a little scattered and playing kind of a little bit pants on fire while we were up there, and that's something that definitely we're going to have to play with a little more poise and calmness.
That said, given the way the game started, and knowing what your best case scenario was to get that 3 seed and more favorable match for the tournament, did that enter the thinking, the thought process at all in that second half as you guys kind of charged back and tried to get over the hump? Or
I don't know if it entered our girls' minds. We never talked about that in the locker room or anything. I mean, at that point, once the ball tips up, it's just a 40-minute battle, and you're playing possession by possession, and you got to focus on the moment instead of what this means and get too caught up in any of that kind of stuff. But it's my understanding. I think Fort Wayne won tonight, and looking at some things there, it looks like we're in a pretty good situation where we've got to find a way to win and to Sunday to give ourselves a good chance.
Throughout that second half, NDSU, they make sure that you guys, don't just carry that momentum and continue that comeback all the way through. But at the same time, you had girls that stepped up. You had Taya, you had Margaret, you had Polly, you had Kelly, you had Nicole. Did that show a lot of maturity in your mind?
It absolutely showed a lot of maturity, and to be honest, that's the way the game went at Western Illinois too, for 40 minutes instead of just 20 or 25 minutes. We had 6 players score double figures down there in Macomb, and lots of different kids contributing. On this possession it's this, and this possession it's this, and sometimes as a head coach, it makes you a little bit confused about what should I call, what play call should I make, or for what kid. But it's a great problem to have several kids that you can go to off of opportunities and know that kids are going to step up and make plays when they need to.
Quite a start to senior weekend for Polly. 23 points, and 6 rebounds. She hit a huge 3 at the start of overtime. Marge kept alluding to, we want to play this for Holly, and didn't seem like Holly wanted to let anybody do it for her. She just kind of wanted to take over there for a bit.
Yeah, I thought Polly was tremendous. I know she's 1 point, I think, off a career high here tonight, and just efficient. I mean, that's the thing we always talk about is 23 points is great. It's hard for kids in our program to score a ton of points because we spread the ball around a lot. So it's very rare for our kids, that anybody in our team, to ever score 20 plus points in a game. So that's a great effort. But more importantly is to do that on 7 of 9 shooting and just very efficient. 8 of 8 from the free throw line. It's just really good senior play.
Taya just racking up another double-double, doing what she does here this year.
Yeah, doing what she does, and she was in foul trouble and had to do a lot of that, kind of in foul trouble. So I was proud of her for being smart and being disciplined down the stretch and being able to still be out there contributing for our team even when she was kind of in a bad situation.
1 or 2 more?
No.
The start of the second half. It seemed like, we went through 15 minutes talking about what we got to do. And all of a sudden that first minute of the second half was brutal. And then you called another timeout, right?
Of the...
It was... you had a turnover and got a 3 against you right to start the second half.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was 19 points down.
Right, and then we go down 19. I can't remember. Did I take a timeout right there? I don't even remember.
I don't think so. Okay.
One way or the other. Yeah, I mean, not the way we wanted to start things. We actually, I think the first possession of the second half got a pretty good look. I thought we went to Nicole there on the block in a post-up situation. She didn't finish, kind of missed the layup there under the bucket. We go right down, we give up a 3, and now boom, you bury yourself even deeper. But the grit to come back in a 25-minute span from 19 down, it's. I don't know if I've been a part of that kind of a turnaround in a game.
Did you change the plan at all, or was it just better execution at all?
We did change the game plan just a little bit in the second half defensively to get a little bit more aggressive. We tried to, trap on some ball screens, do some different things to just get our teams playing a little more aggressive in the second half, and I thought we did a better job.
Thanks, Coach.